All right, microphone check. Microphone check 1, 2.
What up, YouTube? YouTube.
Ed Bridges of EBMods coming at you here. All right, so what we're going to do here real quick, I'm just going to do a short video. We're going to dyno test 2 of the most popular pipes I can say that are on the market right now, which are the OS TB02 and the OS TB03. It's basically 2090 pipe and the 2100. One with the 75 millimeter manifold, the other one with the 85 millimeter manifold. So right now I have the 85 millimeter manifold with the 2100. Hold on, damn. Alright, there you go, now we can see it. So the RPM's coming up to the basically the engine's warming up. I thought I had it on this screen already. Sorry about that. So anyway, you start over, OS TB03, 2100 pipe with an 85 millimeter manifold. VP Racing Let's Blend 30% fuel. This is a prototype engine, 5-foot prototype engine that I'm testing to hopefully have ready maybe later in the year, midsummer or something, or maybe a month or 2. But I want to test these 2 pipes, the OS pipes, and compare them to each other. And because I get a lot of questions about how the engines run with these pipes. Because a lot of people have these exhaust pipes already. It is a very popular pipe. But just turn down the idle a little bit. I have it actually turned up about 3/4 to 1 full turn higher than it needs to be while the engine's warming up. It's almost at 220, and then I'll shut the heater off and we'll baseline this pipe here. It should be pretty close because I've already been cycling this engine. This will be like the second clean run, but we may have to tweak on it a little bit. And then we'll flip pipes out while the engine's still hot, and we'll let her eat and see what she's got. So, shut the heater off. Just gonna pull this off too, because it's gonna get warm when we start taking pulls. And you just turn that down. We'll clean her out. So it's still a little high, you can hear it running on. So we're just going to close that idle gap a little bit more. We'll let the engine temp get below 210 here, and then I'll do another clean out run, see how it idles. Should come right down to idle on us. All right, just a little quick clean out run. So just a little bit more. Almost stalled it. Slowed the wheel down to 1,000 RPMs. So I only usually slow it down to about 1,200 RPM on the wheel. This is the brake here again, throttle. All right, so it's a little warm. Going to turn up the idle a little bit. So I'm going to let it idle now and cool down naturally. Shake up the fuel, always shake up your fuel, even though I shook it up before I put it in there. So I'm actually going to let it cool down to about 200 degrees. I'll do a clean out run. And then slow it down, hit the record button, and we'll do a recorded run. All right, here we go. Clean out run, then recorded run. Now recording. Slowing down the wheel to about 1200 RPM. Here we go. All right. So we're just going to go. We're going to do 3 runs here with this pipe, and I'll compare them, see where we are on the tune, and then adjust it from there. It should be pretty close. As you notice, the engine was pretty warm there. Not too hot, but there's no air cooling here. I let everything naturally. I mean, I do have a fan I can turn on to cool it, but this tells me really how rich or lean the low-speed needle is. It helps. The engine's really lean. It'll stay hot. It won't even cool down when it's idling. If it can idle and cool, then you're pretty good. Well, maybe not all the time. Clean out run, recorded run. Nice and low idle, comes right back down to idle, recorded run. All right, so it's 1.8, 1.82. We'll do one more and then we'll compare. If it's pretty consistent, I'll maybe go a little leaner on the top, a little richer on the bottom, and we'll see what happens, but probably going to go back to where it is. Again, we're going to let it cool down here. All right, so another clean out run and then a dyno pull. There we go. Let me fill her up. All right, clean out run, dyno pull. That clean out run's important. It lets you know whether or not you're lean on your top end, if your crankcase has enough fuel. Here we go, recorded run. All right, let's look at the graphs real quick. Let me get rid of that one. And these last 3 runs, they're pretty consistent with each other. But so what we'll do now is we'll fatten it up about an hour on top, see what happens, and then we'll lean it out on the top an hour and see what happens, and we'll probably go right back to where we're at. Actually, let's just go. Yeah, you know what? We'll always go on the rich side first. No, let's go on the lean side. Either way, we got to do it. Okay, there's about an hour. Here we go. Clean out run, recorded run. Right. Maybe it ran better. Yeah, she's got a little bit more power. Let's compare those graphs though real quick. So we'll get rid of these other two. So the last graph, run 3 and run 4. So I leaned it out on the top, and we got a little bit more top in. We didn't lose anything across the bottom, so let's go a little bit more on top. Go another hour. So I'm feeling the tension of the O-ring as I'm sitting there doing that. So sometimes if you got to go a little bit past an hour and kind of dial it back, or the spring tension, the O-ring tension will pull it back. And we fill up the tank, we'll do a clean out run, portage run, and we'll compare to the last run. Here we go. Got a little bit more. Let's see though. All right, let's compare it to the last run. So now we got a little bit up top here, but we lost some on the bottom. So it's kind of a trade-off here. You know, for shits and giggles, we'll go even an hour leaner. Again, this is a prototype test engine, so. All right. Okay, so now we're about a total of 3 hours from where the tune setting was when we first started. And I actually marked the high-speed needle so I can confirm that. All right, clean out run, dyno tool. All right, sounded a little sluggish across the bottom there. Yeah, for sure. So, let's see, let's compare. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So that's that extra hour. We lost something up top, but we have lean now across the bottom. And that's because I'm doing that clean out run before I actually do the dyno pool. So there's no extra fuel in the case. So this is actually a tuned run. I mean, because sometimes you're ripping down a straightaway, you're hard on the brakes and you pin it. You know, you need to get that engine on the edge. So let's fatten it back up now an hour. Basically go back to where we got the best results at and see if we can reheat it. Alright, so let's graph this. So yeah, it's pretty much back to where it was, because this would be the lean setting, the previous run. We fattened it back up an hour. You can see how much we got back. This is on the top end. So we will And this is basically the previous run. You can almost see it's perfect. I mean, I'm not going to get it dead on my needle, but, well, I'm getting it pretty close. But unless we had like a dial indicator on it. But anyway. So, and then the rich setting. Actually, we didn't go rich. We kept getting better as we went lean. So, those are those. Let's I guess let's fatten it up. Really don't think we need to, because we can see it ran better, but who knows? Let's see what happens. We're going to go back to the original setting. So I have marked here on the high-speed needle. I took a little triangle file and put a little notch in it. And now we're going to go about an hour richer. All right. So we're up. Clean out run. Dyno pull. Here we go. Again, this is 1 hour richer from where we originally started when I started it up on run 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, you can hear it struggling to even get to 30,000. So let's just see what happened to the power curve. Should be really wavy. Yeah. Let's see what happens to the bottom though. Yeah, see. So let's compare that to the last run, run 7, which is our tuned run. So, I actually gained a little bit of bottom, but I mean, look at all the top edge we lost. So, this is run 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right back to a tuned run. We're going to repeat run 7 and run 5. Those should be almost, those should almost perfectly overlay each other. So I get the needle in the right spot. It should be pretty close. I love to use perfect, the word perfect, but that's impossible. All right, here we go. Clean out run, dyno pull. Now it's there on my timing. Yeah, I went a little too far. This 5 and 7 should be up. Okay. All right, that should be about it. And this should repeat run 5 and 7. I went a little leaner on the high speed there, trying to go back. All right, clean out run, dyno pull. Let it drop here another degree or two. All right. Ain't that a kicker? Tighten it up a little bit more on the top end. It's really hard to see the little slot in the screw face. Alright, so I had to just find that right spot on the high speed. You can see it's sensitive. So that's pretty much identical to the other runs. Especially run 5. I mean, run 7, they're all, yeah, that's almost identical. That's run 5 and run 11 now. So, but 5, 7, and 11, the needles all about in the same spot. So we know that's a tuned run. So what I'm going to do here is let me change up this here. And we're going to go TB02 now. H6. That's a 75 millimeter header. Current readings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut it off and change the pipe real quick. Yeah, we're still at 6 or 7 1000 on the low speed. Our low speed's still. So this is going to be hot, so I'm going to try to change this quick. I'll lose my springs. They're going to be hot. Alright. Alright, TB02. Get the pressure line on here. A little easier. Alright. Thermal coupler popped out of the car. We'll have to put that back in real quick. That's this little probe here. Goes up under the carb boot. Go. Alright, that pipe's hot. Okay. Let's fire her up. So still 150. Let it warm back up. Again, I'm going to turn the idle up. About 1 turn. And then we'll end up going back to that same setting. We'll take a couple pulls and I'll dial it back in. So let's put this on here. Get her warming up. We'll get her up to 220, shut it off, let it cool and hit it. So try to do this as quick as I can. Don't want it to be a long, boring video. But I figure this is the Now these two pipes get compared a lot, especially on OS-based engines. But even on my engine, even though I recommend the Nova pipe, the 2182, a lot of people run the OS pipes and they ask me how they compare. So I'm going to show you a comparison of the two OS pipes. They both run well on the engine, but fortunately I don't have a 2182 here to test because the factories don't back order on pipes. So the one I did have for the dyno room, I had to put in my personal buggy to go test the past 2 weeks that trains were laying. So I had to pull it out of my buggy, and I don't have it ready right now to pull out. All right, so RPM's going to pick up now, just warming up. It's about 190, 200. Everything's loosening up. Now I'll start to close the idle gap a little bit. We'll leave the heater on, let it get up to 220. You know, about 10,500 RPM is ideal, so I'll leave it go for right now. We want to get the pipes saturated as well, because that does change the pressure wave in the exhaust pipe, the exhaust gas temperature. So, again, I have a couple pipes and headers here that I have ECG plugs in them, and I can put the thermal couplers in them. And I may end up doing that with this engine, to play with head clearance and stuff to see what's going on. So this is just a baseline running on these engines right now. So all right, hopefully everything's coming through. It's not glitchy or anything. Really wanted to do this live, but I don't think my internet's good enough. Like, I don't know if I said that earlier, but we'll get her figured out. All right, 220, shut the heater off. I'll pull the head off. It's going to drop down in temp pretty quick here. And we're going to start closing the idle gap. Now, I can't go back to that one full turn because the crankcase is loaded up with fuel. There's some things, you know, it's not going to be. I'll go as low as I can, then I'll clean it out, and then I'll be able to back it down even more. There we go, a couple sort of clean out runs to get the idle set. All right, we're pretty close to back to where we were. I'll do one more clean out run, we'll see what happens. Yeah, may need to go a little bit more. We'll probably lean out the bottom and close the gap a little bit more. But for testing purposes here, I'll leave it where it's at because it was good the previous run, and we'll just play with the top end. We're gonna let it cool down, and then I'll do a clean out run, a recorded run. We'll do 3 runs and compare them, and then we'll go lean, go rich. We'll do the same thing we did previously. Now, we're at about an hour cleaner from our initial test 1, 2, 3 with the TB03 pipe. All right, so let's slow this down, do a clean out run, recorded run. Definitely close the idle, I think, some more. Pretty good. We'll let her idle now and cool down. Fill up the tank. So then I'll do a clean out run, recorded run. You know the routine. I know I keep repeating it, but. Alright, we're going to do a clean out run, recorded run. Here we go. I like to make sure the lid's down all the way. Nice slow idle, comes right back down to idle. Alright, this will be run 3, and we'll compare those 3, because you remember previously run 1, 2, and 3 when we ran it, even though it wasn't tuned, those graphs all overlaid each other. But as we cleaned out the top, we got more power. And then we repeated that tuned run 5, 7, and 9. Hopefully, everybody remembers. Hopefully, it's coming out okay. Trying to also show the repeatability of the dyno. Alright. Let's do a clean out run and recorded run. Alright, let's graph these real quick. You're gonna see. No tricky. Alright. Or no sneaky. So that's the last 3 runs. Run 1, 2, and 3 in that tune. Let's now look at run 11. Yeah, 5, 7, and 11. So that's the 2 pipes kind of back to back, but we're going to play with the tune here. We're going to see if we can get anything different out of it. But that was the last run with the 20 TB03. You know, but let's go lean on her. See what it's got. Shit, hold on. All right. So an hour leaner. Clean out run dyno pool. right, let's compare that to the last run. Get rid of run 11. So run 3 and 4. So I went leaner on the top, it did nothing. Right? Power curve didn't change now. So let's go another hour. Now we're 3 hours from our original run 1, 2, and 3 with the original pipe when we first started. But the tune position is about 1 hour leaner from there with the other pipe. So hopefully all making sense. All right, now let it cool down. We just make sure the tank is full. Try to keep as much consistent as possible. And we're going to do clean out run, dyno pull, recording run. Here we go. 1 hour leaner. Total of 2 hours leaner from our start position on this pipe, which is our tuned run on the other. Whew. Sounded like a lean bog to me. Sounds different on the dyno than it will in your car, but yeah, look at that. Let's see what that looks like. Again, that's going too lean on your top end. So let's compare it to our last run. Yeah, that is a lean bog. All on your high-speed needle, though. So go back to where it should be a tuned run on the other pipe. We're going to see if we can just repeat that run. And then we'll go rich. We'll know if it's rich. We know it's lean. We lost power, so we're not going to go to the point that we're going to blow the engine up. Maybe another day. Here we go. Clean out run, recorded run. Yeah, we got our bottom back. You can see that tip disappeared. So let's now compare. So let's just check this out real quick. Okay, so we got it back after we fattened it back up on the top. And then compared to the previous run, which it should match, it's actually running a little bit better. So let me go a little bit on the richer side. Go back, we'll go 1 hour rich from our original start position of run 1, 2, and 3 of pipe TB03. Sometimes your engine just needs more fuel. I don't think so this time. Oh. 3.4. Yeah. Good. We lost a little bit of power and it's a little bit more weightier now. So let's compare that. Oops. Let's compare that to our last run. You know, it's weighty. You might have a little bit more here. It loses, you know. You want to try to get a, you know, a smooth power curve as much as you can. Okay, so let's go back to that tuned position and see if we can repeat that. That's what I want to do. Ooh. 2.5 millimeter, they get stuck in there if you don't pull it straight out. And of course, I didn't pull it straight out. I hope everybody can hear me. Hopefully it's just coming through. If not, still getting some testing done. So let's go. Clean out run, recorded run. Alright. So, I mean, it's right back to the recorded run. Yeah, run 6. The previous run. This would be lean, or yeah, that would be lean. This would be the lean run. We'll compare it to the last run where we went rich. Okay, yep, you can see it's wavy. I would prefer the blue curve and the green over the red or the brown here. This is your horsepower. This is your torque. So this waviness you don't want. So 2 recorded runs back to back, put the needles back. So essentially the high-speed needle stayed in the exact same position as the TB03. So we're right back to the same spot. Let me just shut this engine down and we'll go over the graphs real quick. Make sure it's bottom dead center. Okay. So basically what we need to see is our final tune run of both pipes. On 11. And there you have it. That's the difference between the OS TB03 and the OS TB02, both with the recommended manifolds that they come with the pipe, the 75 millimeter with the TB02 and the 85 millimeter with the TB03. So the tune on the high speed stayed the same, didn't touch the low speed, the idle and everything. I have all that pretty much dialed in. Once you have that stuff actually set on a lot of the engines, you'll notice you won't have to touch it that often. You know, maybe extreme weather changes, but for the most part, you're tuning on your high speed. Okay, well, let's just do high numbers here. 1.85, 1.89. I mean, you can see these are almost identical. And again, these are all repeatable runs. I showed you that. Hopefully that all came across well. But yeah, so there you go. Hopefully that was something you liked. If not, sorry about that, but maybe next time. Thanks for watching.